Back in the day, China had set these birth limitations in their country, and they pretty much screwed themselves into a low birth rate situation. Now, if you read the articles, the men outnumber the women, and there's just not enough women in their country for the men to get married now and have a family. At first I wasn't understanding why they were marrying the African women. So many Chinese men are going into Africa and they're actually marrying the women. It's because they can't find wives in China. Now they have to consider the Chinese. You didn't see, they would, you would always see the Asian woman with the white man, but they did not heavily date outside of their race. Now, I guess if they want families, they pretty much have to think about that. And a lot of them are marrying the African women because, you can even see the videos online of all of the African Chinese weddings that are going on. So here's an article that just came out in Bringing China Closer, GB Times, August 10th, 2018. Experts suggest China in birth restrictions as fertility rates plunges. They're actually at a level of no return, y'all. And wait until I get into the article and you'll see just what I mean. They're at a level of no where it just simply can't be reversed. A Chinese expert has suggested the world's most populous country completely scrap its birth limitation policy due to the fact its fertility rate has plunged since 2000. Chang Chui, director of the Population and Labor Economic Institute of the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, recently told reporters from Chinese news magazine China Newsweek that the birth rate in China between the turn of the century and 2018 has been between, listen to this, 1.5 and 1.6 births per woman. And guess what? They're going through low birth rate and they still got restrictions in place. I guess they got the same high IQ as the people here. Okay. Lower than the 2.1 figure required for a population to maintain itself in the long run. So they are way below where they should be. A low birth rate leads to aging population issues, which is going on here in the US. You got an aging population that is greater in number than the younger population. Although China's elderly issues are not particularly serious at present, the entire country is aging rapidly. It took China, listen to this, just 18 years to reach an aging society, which means that they got to a situation where they are at a low birth rate in just an 18-year period. Usually it takes nearly a century for people to get to the point of low birth rate, and they got there in 18 years. All right. By contrast, it took the French people 115 years, and it took 85 years for Switzerland to get to this stage where they have an aging population that's greater than the younger population. Usually it takes a good century for that to happen. But in China's case, because they chose to abort the female babies and keep the male babies, they got there in just 18 years. Zhang is not optimistic about China's second child policy, as he believes it also imposes limits. He sees encouraging people to give birth to more children while placing restrictions on them as pointless. And he's right. But China still, you would think if they see it's only around 1.5 per woman in their country, that they would back off of these policies. They still got strict policies in place for how many births a couple can have. And on top of that, they're going through low birth rate. I think we should scrap the limits altogether and let people have more. So he's just saying, China to back off of these restrictions and just let people have babies. That is the way to boost the low birth rate. Well, how do you turn it around when you got a society filled with men and very few women? You can't turn that around. Even if those few men that can marry the available women, it's not enough of them to make a difference now. You would need to have at least as many women as the men, or even more women than the men, for it to make a difference. But in their case, I don't think they can turn this around. But what do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I will see you on the next video. Peace, family.